meeting to order. This Board of Works and Safety this Monday, October 7th, 2019. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the September 16 meeting.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of our regular meeting on September 16th.
I'll second that motion.
For discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the order to demolish at 710 West 10th Street, carried over from our last meeting. Has there been any resolution, any change?
So, Mr. President, just to refresh your memory, the gentleman, and I believe he's here, Mr. Stratton, is it? Okay, if you'd like to approach as well. The board continued this to this hearing. Mr. Stratton was in the process, please. He was in the process of getting the tax deed, the auditor's deed, and redeeming the property through the tax sale process. So this is why the board continued this public hearing.
Okay.
Yes, the work of my attorney is ongoing. Within days, his work should be complete in terms of making me the lawful owner, and I would like to acquire it and to rehab it within a short amount of time. I'm willing to cooperate with anything the city may ask of me to be within compliance, and I intend to give my full cooperation.
Okay. Can we get a performance bond?
Yes, of course.
Well, I would say we can continue this to our next meeting, and at that time we better have it, or we'll go on with the demolition.
When is the next meeting, and by what time does...
21st? Is that right?
The only thing that might be stopping him from getting a performance bond is they may require, they being whoever the underwriter is, that he has legal ownership of the property before. I don't know if that's true or not, but you may want to inquire in on it.
I'm willing to post a cash bond even before all the paperwork is complete. If the city needs a certain amount of money, I can post a cash bond.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll continue this hearing to the next meeting on the 21st.
On the 21st? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Motion.
Do I need a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
That's your motion.
That's
I'll second
my
it. I'll second that motion.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is awarding of bids for the demolition of 126 F Street.
Mr. President, we have reviewed the bids received. Jay Schaffner is the lowest, most responsive bidder in the amount of $11,800, and we would recommend awarding said project to this entity. I believe Sue Downs also confirmed that this contractor attended her mandatory pre-bid conference.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to award the bid for the demolition of 126 F Street to Jay Schaffner in the sum of $11,800.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is another awarding of bids. This one for the demolition of 109 Virginia Court.
Again, Jay Schaffner is the lowest, most responsive bidder in the amount of $8,900. We would recommend awarding the project to Jay Schaffner, and also Sue Downs confirmed that Jay Schaffner did attend her mandatory bid conference.
Okay. No further discussion. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to award the bid of the demolition of 109 Virginia Court to Jay Schaffner.
Second the motion.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a request by Bruce Jones, 2933 Jackson Street, requesting the placement of speed limit signs on Jackson for public safety. Mr. Jackson here.
Yes, sir. From Barker Ave to Cool Spring Ave, there are no speed limit signs. except for a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit sign at the playground. Yesterday, I was out in my yard working, and a car went by about 80 miles an hour. Somebody's going to get killed out there. We need police out there to patrol it. We need a speed sign, and we need speed limit signs. Somebody's going to get killed.
Okay,
I've been passed on that road. Thank you.
okay. Captain, if you had a chance to look at it?
Yes, good morning, Captain Jeff Lineski, Traffic Division. I did look at it, and he's correct, there are no speed limit signs except for the speed limit signs that are posted in front of the park. We would recommend the installation of 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs at Greenwood Ave in Jackson and Cool Spring Ave in Jackson.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for signage between Greenwood and Cool Spring, that being 30-mile-an-hour signs, and the locations would be at Greenwood and at the Cool Spring Avenue.
Support.
For discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is request by Dana Nelson, 302 Dewey Street, requesting the placement of a stop sign at the corner of Dewey and Short Streets for public safety. Is Dana here?
Yes, my intention today was to recommend the denial of this request. There was no significant accident history at that intersection, and there's no issues with sight lines or anything like that. However, there was some miscommunication with the street department when they received their request from the clerk's office. They assumed that it had already been approved, so the signs and the stop bars were automatically or immediately placed out there. So there's really no issue of keeping the stop sign there. I think it might be confusing now if we take it back down, so I guess we'll leave it to your discretion of whether to keep them up or not.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Affirm.
And to affirm the installation of the sign.
Second that motion.
For discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a request for lights at a park. Vera Foster, 221 Emma Street, requesting lights be placed at the park location on Broadway for the children to play at night. Is Vera here?
Yes. Good morning to everybody. I live on Emma Street. I've been living there for years. I had my home built on Emma Street. We need, on the left-hand side is sidewalks. On my side, no sidewalk at all. We have to walk in the street to get where we need to, get to Broadway and get on the sidewalk. We got handicapped people there. I went to the mayor's office. They said that if a handicapped people, I said, well, we had 2 handicapped persons on my street. They passed away. On my side of the street, no sidewalk. We have to walk in dirt. I don't know how that can be. It looked like it should be sidewalk on both sides, not just on one side. And it was home there when I had my house built.
Your request is for lights on the playground.
Yeah, that too.
There's nothing here about sidewalk.
Well, okay, but I talked to the lady, and she the one that turned in my name. But okay, the lights in the park. We got young people come to the park in the evening. They park there. They told me that they're not supposed to be parked in the park, but they do. They play basketball in the evening. They don't have nowhere to go and play and the park need to be updated. We can have lights for the kids to go and play ball. And when the weather is nice, they don't have nowhere to go. And we got young men park in the park and with the lights on, and they play basketball. They don't have nowhere to go. That's a problem.
Okay.
So if something can be done about that. I think some people there said they don't want lights there.
Well, that's another problem.
Yeah. But we need something there for the kids to go and the park where the young people bring their young kids. The sand, it got cracked glass in the sand. Can something be done about that? A better playground for young kids to come?
I believe the council is looking at upgrading a lot of the parks. I'm not sure if that's one of them.
Well, it needs to be updated.
Is that a city park or
Yeah, I was
is that?
gonna ask, what is the name of this
The park department.
Water? Okay.
It needs to be updated. Now, I see the one on Pullman on the west side, that is updated.
Is that under the jurisdiction of the park department?
I'm not sure.
They got lights, they got all kind of things there for young kids to come and play. And it ain't no sand.
We're gonna postpone this till our next meeting to find out who actually is in charge of that park. We don't know if it's us or the park department.
Mr. President, I would refer this to the park department, or at least to our directors for comment, because I believe this is a park department issue.
Okay,
Oh, can I say something else?
sure, you're up.
Since I'm standing here, we got police sign where that little girl got killed on Broadway. They ignore that sign. They don't stop. Sometimes it depends on the people. They come, they stop, then they don't stop. Some people just go right straight through. Somebody gonna get hit
Okay,
again. So they need to put a camera up there or something, cause they don't stop. They ignore that sign. My house sitting right there, and in my window, I can sit there and see them. They don't stop.
Okay.
Y'all have a blessed one.
thank you. Captain, take a look at it, and I'll entertain a motion.
And make a motion to refer the matter of the lice and other problems at Water Tower Park to the park department.
Support.
No further discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is welcoming back a former board member. John Espar's representing Blue Chip Casino. They're requesting an easement between the casino, LLC, and the City of Michigan City Board of Works.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for the introductions. I won't repeat, but I can't recall whether I forwarded the signature page from Blue Chip Casino. If not, I have it with me this morning, and I'm also here to field any questions that may come up on this grant of easement to the Board of Work.
We do have it.
Very good.
And Mr. President, just to refresh your memory, last year in November, this board approved an MOU with Blue Chip. And the MOU dealt with the expansion and the relocation of their sanitary and water easements. This agreement is the new location of the water and sanitary easements, which have been approved by both the water and sanitary departments. So we'd ask for
So we just gave a tentative approval at that time.
Correct. So this is your formal.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
motion to approve the grant of easement between Blue Chip Casino and the City of Michigan City Board of Public Works for the use of an easement for water department, water facilities, and sanitary district sanitary sewer facilities.
Second that motion.
For discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Don't stay away so long. Next item on the agenda is a motion for a horizontal drilling permit by Orbital Engineering in NIPSCO for 2 and 4 inch gas mains at Southgate subdivision.
Spike Peller, Michigan City Engineer. I've reviewed this. I believe the departments have reviewed this. I think we have the letters from the different departments, and I recommend that this board approve this permit.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for horizontal drilling permit for NIPSCO to horizontal drill at a location on its Southgate subdivision to relocate 2 inch and 4 inch gas mains, the period being October 14th through November 1st, subject to the requirements that were contained in the sanitary district's letter.
Support.
For discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a request by the mayor that the board approve the placement of 2 street signs honoring Councilman Tim Beatrice to be called Tim Beatrice Way on the north side alley of Art Space Uptown Artist Lofts, one at the corner of Franklin Street in the alley and the other at the corner of Washington Street and the alley.
Mr. President, for the benefit of the board and the members of the public, Councilman Beatrice played a critical role in the implementation of the Art Space Uptown Artist Lofts project in the Warren Building. Perhaps the most critical role, as he was the person from Michigan City who made the first phone call to Art Space. And he'll tell the story. He talked to a woman named Terry Deaver, who answered the phone, a very nice lady. A little known fact about Art Space is they will not come to your community unless you call them and invite them. That historic phone call was the impetus for the Art Space project, and of course over the next several years, Councilman Beatrice continued to play a he was a tireless champion for the implementation, the awarding of the tax credits, and throughout the construction and throughout the implementation of the project. So I think this is a really cool way of honoring Councilman Beatrice, who has had such an impact on our community over his entire career. Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the honorary street signs to read Tim Beatrice Way on the north side alley of the Art Space Uptown Artist Lofts, one at the corner of Franklin Street in the alley and the other at the corner of Washington Street and the alley.
I'll second that motion.
For discussion, I call for a vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is another request by the mayor, requesting a conversion of 2 parking spaces to handicap parking spaces on the west side of Buffalo Street near the entrance to St. Mary's Catholic Church, along with painted blue parking lines and curbs if necessary.
Spike Peller, Michigan City Engineer. I agree with the mayor that the handicap parking should be placed here. I believe that this should be permanent parking, and therefore the blue paint marking should be included in the signs, and I'll let the Bob Zonder take care of that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the request for 2 parking signs for handicapped on the west side of Buffalo Street near the entrance of St. Mary's Church, along with the painted blue parking lines and curbs.
Support. No further discussion. Call for the vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
I would put it on our pending list until it's accomplished. Okay? Next item on the agenda is a request by Kevin Urbanski, Chief of Operations for the Michigan City Police Department, requesting approval of the dispose of one wrecked 2011 Crown Victoria. Travelers Insurance has declared it a total loss in the amount of $4,694. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Assistant Chief Kevin Urbanzik, Michigan City Police Department. Yes, this 2011 Ford Crown Victoria was involved in a front-end collision on August 26th at 11th and Spring Streets. And during the course of that investigation, it was determined that the officer was not at fault. And since then, an insurance adjuster from Travelers Insurance came out to look at the vehicle, had deemed it a total loss. So they're going to be sending us a check for $4,694, and they're going to need possession of that vehicle. So I would seek the board's approval to dispose of that vehicle by giving that to them.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the request to dispose of city property.
Second the motion.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of a service agreement by Robin Tillman, Transit Director, requesting approval of a service agreement between the City of Michigan City and the City of LaPorte, Purdue University Northwest, and LaPorte County, Indiana, for the continuation of the fixed transportation route commonly referred to as the Transit Triangle, effective April 1, 2019.
So, Mr. President, this will allow for the Transit Triangle bus project to continue for another year. Well, actually, it started April 1st of 2019, and it will end May 1st of 2020. The reason why I got to you a little bit late is our friends at the county took some time vetting this out amongst themselves before they actually approved and executed this agreement. But I anticipate the parties meeting early next year to discuss should we have this project continue further. But this will at least continue it to the end of the school semester next year.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the service agreement between the City of Michigan City, the City of LaPorte, Purdue University Northwest, and LaPorte County for the continuation of the fixed transportation route, commonly referred to as the Transit Triangle, this being effective April 1st and terminating on May 1st, 2020.
Support.
Further discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of a contract between the Indiana Department of Transportation and the Michigan City Tree Inventory Project, designated number 1802867.
Good morning, Board. Skylar York, I'm the Assistant City Planner. This contract is just simply to, I believe right now, they've got their scope nailed down, and I think they've got their RFP, I believe, is going to go out, but they got to execute this contract to get it to put it out to bid. But I believe that's where they're at with this project. It is, we got a grant from them, from the INDOT, and I think we have the matching funds and everything. It's all been set aside. We just got to get the contract executed to put it out to bid. So
How many trees does this involve?
all the trees in all the city-owned trees. So any tree that's, I assume all city trees. I don't know if it'll include any private trees. I don't know the answer to that, but our cemeteries, our parks, anything like that, where there's large trees or trees of a certain diameter. So.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the contract for the tree inventory project between NDOT and the city of Michigan City.
I'll second that motion.
No further discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is request for a special purchase request by the Superintendent of Central Maintenance, requesting approval to purchase one 2019 Ford F-250 pickup truck and one 2019 Ford 350 pickup truck, utilizing the special purchase method by the state.
Morning, Board. Bob Zonder, Superintendent of Central Maintenance and Services. This was approved in 2019 by the Mayor and City Council for capital projects. And also, we would like to trade in the two vehicles as well.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the special purchase request for one 2019 Ford F-250 pickup truck, one 2019 Ford F-350 pickup truck, and to trade in one 2004 F-150 pickup and one 1999 GMC 3500 service truck.
Support. No further discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is notice from the Michigan City Police Department. They will be conducting their semi-annual fall physical fitness testing on Tuesday and Wednesday, October 1 through October 23rd, and this is for informational purposes only. Next item on the agenda is a notice of correspondence received by the city clerk's office from Tony Childers regarding Nick Dill's diesel leak in the Trail Creek. Next item on the agenda is the claims, approval of the claims and payroll.
Make a motion to approve the claims and payroll as presented.
No further discussion, I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is our unfinished business. Where do we stand on the neighborhood watch signs?
Mike Keller, Michigan City Engineer. I still have questions as to who pays for it, what the signs look like, how do we install them.
Okay.
So that's up to the board and maybe the police department. I mean, if we wanted to, we could, provide signs and, maybe locate them at the request of the citizens, but I don't know if Mr. Zonder has the money to do that, so.
We'll just leave it on the to-do list. Yes, sir.
We've been working with the petitioner for quite a while on this request. She supplied us with a list of locations where she would like the signs placed. In the past, I know we've worked with other neighborhood watch groups and have supplied the signs to them. We've actually posted them for them. We would recommend the approval of this request and the locations that were provided by the petitioner. However, she did request that a few be placed in alleys. We don't think that would be necessary. So specifically, she's requesting the placement at the northeast corner of York and Tremont, the northwest corner of Lafayette and Tremont, the southwest corner of Lafayette and Detroit, and replacing the old sign at the southwest corner of Pearl and York, and finally the replacement of an old sign at the southeast corner of Oak and Tremont.
And they're paying for the sign.
No, typically the city has paid for these before. I know I've worked with several groups where we put them.
Okay.
Do we have the signs readily available, Mr. Zonder?
I'd have to order them special.
Funding?
Do you have the funds?
No.
I didn't hear the answer.
You said no, right?
No, yes. Maybe check with the Board of Works and see.
Board of Works got any money?
Perhaps we could get an estimate on how much these signs would cost, and then we can make a decision on if there's funding available. Thanks.
Okay. So we'll keep it on our to-do list, and you'll report back with a price at the next meeting. Next item on our unfinished business is 111 Franklin Street.
I Sue Downs, Building Commissioner, City of Michigan City. The owner of 111 Franklin has complied with all that we requested of him. So I'm prepared at this time to just set aside the order.
You're withdrawing the order to demolish. Okay. There's nothing we do then.
No, under state law, the planning department obtains jurisdiction at all times to set aside their own orders to demolish, and so at this point, there's nothing for this board to do.
So do they get an occupancy permit then?
Ms. Downs, though, if you did record the order to demolish, you need something vacating that order. That needs to be recorded as well.
Okay. They have a couple of minor things that I'm going to hold out for.
Okay.
So they'll get it.
So we can take
temporary
it off our
You can take it.
to-do list.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to remove from the pending list.
Second.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye. Motion carries. McDonald's hasn't finished their alley work, have they? No. Looks like they're getting close.
They're getting close. I think it'll be the last thing they do because they're just trying to get the parking lot cleaned up. Obviously, it's been a mess for months.
Okay.
So I'll check with Sam today and see what he's thinking about time frame.
Just keep it on our.
Just keep it on there. I don't think it'll be an issue once we do get before you, but
right.
Just keep it on there for now to remind us.
Okay. Next item on our to-do list is a presentation by We Create Media Marketing contract for 2019, where we stand as of this date. Well, I thought they were supposed to be here today. Okay, we'll keep it on our list till they show up. And sale of Fogarty, nothing.
It's not supposed to be back on your agenda till November.
Okay. Anybody from the public wish to speak at this time? Come to a mic, either here.
Morning. My name is Megan Henning. I'm with NIPSCO Communications. And
John Sabotnik, Manager of Major Projects, NIPSCO.
we met with the municipality mayor here, as well as local officials about a week ago to discuss a transmission upgrade that we have starting on October 14th through the LaPorte County area, and it also impacts Michigan City proper. This is the first phase of a multi-year project. We're going to be starting construction, and we're going to be replacing the lattice towers along in our utility right-of-way between the existing Bosterman substation and the Michigan City Gen Station. You all have a copy of our general fact sheet that goes out to the public, so it kind of gives just a better description of what the project is. We're going to be starting foundation work on October 14th and placing foundations until around the end of March. And then in the beginning of January, we're going to be taking down the existing lattice towers and rising the new monopole towers. And that will last, that portion of the project will last until May of 2020. And then after we're complete, restoration will take place. We're here to discuss with Board of Works. We anticipate some lane closures possibly and possible road closures throughout the duration of the project. We just awarded the contractor bid on Friday to Michaels. Is it Michaels Construction or?
Michaels Corporation, yeah.
Michaels Corporation. So the way that works, since it's contracted work and we're not doing it internally, they develop the schedules. So once we sit down with their team and our project management team, which we have some representatives here, we'll have a more defined scope of where these closures are going to be. Our main concern would be around Ames Stadium, where we're anticipating some closures. And we're not going to impact that area until after football season. Right. So we basically just wanted to know how we should work through that with you through the duration of the project. We typically know probably 5 days prior to going in. There's a lot of, weather, projects are weather dependent, material dependent, and it's basically just all the works in our utility right of way. It's just depending on like heavy equipment coming in and out, or for safety reasons, if it's a high traffic area, there's a lot of, either foot traffic by the public or, cars coming in and out. We want to close that area off so that the residents are safe and our construction crews are safe. Closures typically, I am not sure if they're going to be during regular business hours or go over the night, depending on that. But we basically just want to see how you want to work that out through the duration of the project. We don't anticipate anything starting as of like the 14th for closures, but how we should submit them to you and how we want to handle the application.
Well, my feeling is it doesn't do you any good to come to us to really let the public know, but if you notify the police department the Monday when you're going to be doing work, that would be.
Sure, we talked about that in our municipality meeting, that we're gonna, our construction crews will be in contact with emergency responders basically on a daily basis so that they know where we're at. We've notified the public anytime we have a lane or road closure. We do media releases, we do social, we send the municipality copies of that, so you'll be well aware. Also, like traffic plans for our flaggers, detour routes, all of that will be submitted at a minimum 3 days prior to us going into that area. Unless it's an emergency situation, we have to close something down. Then we'll just get a hold of you right away and work through those with you.
So let the police know that's our main concern, is it? And if you let the media know, that'll help too.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to submit to you, to the Board of Works then? We just wanted to make sure that everybody in the municipality was aware of the project and...
We'll need the final certificate of insurance.
Sure.
Once this is approved.
Our insurance is the same as any other, it's the same insurance that gets submitted. Mm-hmm. So...
the city's not named as an additional insured though.
Okay. It's the same insurance we always submit with every project. But we'll let legal, our lawyer and I think your legal are talking through that. They're in contact together, so.
Nobody's been in touch with me.
Okay. Paul?
But no, that's all we need is just.
Provide additional insured once the agreement is in place.
Okay.
That's
okay.
standard for additional insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, because
all right,
I'm seeing is just the blank, we're not listed on it.
Sure, and I think Paige has been on vacation, hasn't she?
Yes.
So she's gonna reach out and work and get that to you, okay?
So that's the only other thing that we need.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So is there anything we need to do at this time?
I think the board could approve the general project, subject to the actual closures, going through the police department, assuming that there's not an emergency, a minimum of at least 3 to 5 days in advance.
Sure.
Is that good for you, Captain? Okay.
And then I'm assuming police will just disperse to the rest of the city departments.
Spike?
Spike Keller, Michigan City Engineer. I think this is fine. The only concern I have is that it's not only the police, but it's, normally we go through the Board of Works to close a road. And that's, a process. And the reason we do that is so that it can be, the schools and the police and the fire and all those people know about it. And so I just want to make sure that that's taken care of.
And that's why I said to the police that they would disperse to all the city departments upon receipt of that information.
We can communicate that out to the transportation department at the local schools
Okay.
as well, yeah.
We'll be developing a detailed schedule for this whole entire project, working with the contractor and communicating on a regular basis with various city EMS, fire, police, and everyone else as well on a regular basis to make sure that they're aware of when the dates are upcoming for the whole entire project. And if there is any deviation from that, we'll communicate that as well too.
Okay, good. So I'll entertain a motion then.
Make a motion to approve the project concept, middle school transition upgrade, understanding of the subsequent communications with law enforcement and media regarding the project ongoing and submittal of additional insurance information.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
No further discussion, I call for a vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak at this time?
Good morning, everyone.
State your name and address for the
Yes,
record,
sir.
please.
I sure will. My name is Cora Cambridge. My address is 220 Gladys Street. I'm here to ask for lighting on the street. We had one, I think y'all know, Chaplain Williams. I can't pronounce his last name. But it is so dark on that street, you come out, you cannot really see. Now, yes, we have a police officer, Marty Corley, lives next door to me, and he can tell you the same thing. In the alley, it was so dark, I had NIPSCO to put up a light for me. At Gladys Street, there was a light down the street in the neighbor, but they had the light turned over in the neighbor's yard. That wasn't helping nobody but those people. They moved the light down the street further. That sure don't help. And I've been there since 1972. I am a taxpayer. And there's no sidewalks on either side of that street. It never was. I don't know if they can be put in, but we have kids playing up and down the street. And some of the neighbors complain about it, but they're not here this morning. So is there anybody that could take a look into that? Yeah, I talked to my councilman already, but nothing has been done. The light is needed very much.
Okay.
Because you cannot see when you walk out. It's terrible. Unless the neighbors put their porch light, on, you can't see. What address is what? So I certainly would appreciate it if somebody.
Where would are you requesting this light to be?
It needs to be. It needs to be on Gladys Street. I live at 220.
Corner? In the 200
No, the
block?
corner's not going to help it. It's one down on the corner, but that light don't help us. No.
Okay.
I don't know if any of these officers ever been out there at night or not. They could tell you that
We'll
you
take a
can't
look
see.
at it and see what we can do for you.
I certainly would appreciate it, because when I walk out, I don't want to get mugged.
Okay, I wouldn't
I'd
want
like to see somebody. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, entertain a motion to refer this to the city engineer, traffic, and whoever else like to look at it.
So moved.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
It'll go on our to-do list. Anybody else from the public wish to speak at this time? If not, any board comments? If not, entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
No further discussion. I call for the vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.